time test. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 1 2. Testing 1 2. Man, I wish I had some weed to smoke. Always. Yeah. Had a tiny bit left, and like I was gonna like ration it, you know. I have a little earlier. I was like, I'll have a little smoke before the podcast. But then like I was like, you know what? I'm trying to get really high, so I just smoked all of it. And now, per usual, future Chris, who is now present Chris, is shit out of luck. Well, past Chris gets the last laugh. Always one step ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Rev and Filo show.
Hey, what's up, guys?
We are, this is the first show after Thanksgiving. How was your Thanksgiving? I don't think you gave me any details on that.
It was cool.
Nor did I give you any on mine.
No. Well, you did, if you want to retell that story.
What did I don't even remember. Which one?
Where you guys kind of ganged
that
up on
really
your
wasn't Thanksgiving.
It wasn't Thanksgiving? I thought it was.
That was the day after.
All right, well.
No, I meant actual Thanksgiving. I got really sick, so I actually didn't like really get to enjoy myself because I got sick, and then I went to my aunt's house. I think I told you I took some ibuprofen, so I was feeling all right.
Yeah. And
then I ate food, and then like as soon as I ate like a big plate of Thanksgiving food, I just got like really like tired and like I just felt like shit, and I didn't necessarily feel sick, but I just felt like no energy. So
damn, Ash was feeling like that too. She was all sick. She couldn't even. But she still made 2 turkeys.
I didn't do shit. I fucking stared at the ceiling. It kind of sucked though because like they were drinking. There was like booze at my aunt's house. My aunt and my mom and everybody was like sipping, and everyone was sort of sitting around, and like I couldn't really like participate. I felt because I was just like just out of it. Like I had no interest in like having a conversation. I couldn't drink because my stomach was just all fucked up.
What'd you do? Did you just sit in the living room?
Kinda, yeah. Like I
shit.
sat there with my dad and like we watched some football, but then I don't even watch football, so like it's like I was just watching it, like not really having any interest in it, you know.
Yeah.
But then like everyone else was watching it, so it's not like I could just turn the TV and like throw on whatever's on it. That made Thanksgiving Day parade.
Fucking, we ended up watching The Mandalorian, like
I saw that
3 episodes.
Have you seen the 4th episode?
Yeah.
Okay, so
you gonna spoil anything right now?
No, I mean, I don't know, maybe. I just, not Mikey, fucking, Stanley made an interesting point the other day when we were watching it. He actually said it, like, I think during the 2nd episode, because we saw the 1st episode that we were watching. And he goes, this movie's like a video game where, like, every episode is like a mission.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, like, you know, there's the overarching storyline of like, of him and like Baby Yoda, who apparently they're calling him the child. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, he's the child.
Which I like Baby Yoda.
The story behind that,
say fuck it. Call him Baby Yoda.
Well, the story behiund that
has a good ring to it.
The story behind that is when they were filming it, they didn't want anybody to say Yoda or baby, anything that had to do with Yoda. They didn't want to say anything, so they had the actors say, "Okay, look, here's your contract. You can't say anything about this. So if you're gonna talk about on set or say anything outside,
you have to refer to it as the child.
As the child, yeah. That's how that came out.
But it's a fucking Baby Yoda. So like, what were they expecting?
Well, also too, nobody knows because George Lucas did this on purpose, where Yoda's supposed to be mysterious. So he never mentions like what species Yoda is.
Right. Well, I heard that like I saw like a video and it was like, like after the 1st episode had come out and it was like Baby Yoda came out and now it was like all over the internet, baby memes. I saw a video and it was like, oh, like the history of Yoda's people, and apparently like pretty much Yoda, whatever their species is, like only like one exists at one time. Like it can't be. There's not a bunch of Yodas somewhere.
They're really rare.
Planet. Yeah, they're tremendously rare, and it's like 50 years old. The kid is like 50 years old already, but it's still like a little baby.
Yeah, because if you want to go by the original trilogy,
and he was Yoda, like 900 when he died, right?
Yeah, he died like close to 1,000 years old, 900 and something. So if you go based upon that, and Yoda died of natural causes, not
he just died.
Yeah. So
he just disappeared.
Yeah. So that being said, then technically the baby, because he's not 100 yet, he's not even one. Then by Yoda's, if we're going by Yoda's.
Well, I mean, if he's not even one, that means 100 years is 1 year old, which means like, Yoda was only 9 years old when he died.
Yeah. Well,
if he died at 900 years old.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's how people are kind of based, like,
Actually, you know what's funny? Because when I saw it. And it was like, oh, it's 50 years old, but it's a kid. It's a little baby still. I was like, well, it's like based off of like its movements and the way it's like,
kind of looks like a toddler.
Like a toddler, right? Like what, maybe one?
Yeah, but then he's like really, really tiny.
Well, yeah, but some babies are tiny.
Yeah. Maybe he's a midget.
Because I'm like, man, it's 50 years and he's barely. Let's just say 50 years is 1 year old in like human years, right?
Yeah.
That still means Yoda only. Every 50 years is 1 year, right? In terms of human years. So that still means Yoda was like, what, 18, 19 years old by that, by that math?
Yeah. I mean, if you want to get fucking really technical about it.
We're essentially just creating a scale. But I mean, like, based off of Yoda dying at like 900, that's kind of, and like based off of how the kid is like. But it's stupid because like at 50 years old, he's like a little baby, but at 900 years old, he's like fucking an old,
really
like old ass man. When if you do it by the scale of 50 years equals 1 year old, then he's only 19.
Yeah,
which kind of doesn't really make sense.
I don't know, but it's a kid.
I liked it though. The battle scene at the end of the big battle scene at the end of episode 3. Yeah, that was pretty sick.
With
all the I mean I don't want to spoil it, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. With that whole like Iron Man, like little nod to Iron Man.
Well, when he was flying next to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the fuck was? You know what I didn't get? All right, fuck it. Look, spoilers for the Mandalorian. Go fucking watch it. Stop being an asshole. I'm just gonna talk about it. What I didn't understand was. So he gets in the gunfight, right? At the end of episode 3. Then all the other Mandalorians come and like back him up, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody has a jetpack. Except for, the main Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Which, it's funny too, because like they call him the Mandalorian, but they're all Mandalorians.
Yeah.
He doesn't, how come he doesn't have a name? Like Boba Fett.
If you catch what I guess now is the main fucking bad guy now.
The German guy?
No, the guy who was giving him the missions. Do you remember him?
Yeah, Carl Weller.
Yeah, okay.
It's funny. During episode 3, when he goes to see Carl Weathers again, I told Stan, I'm like, why do I get the feeling that Carl Weathers is gonna end up being like a bad guy? You know what I'm saying? And Stan's like, because he has like that shady black guy like vibe to him. I'm like, why is he gotta be black? Why can't he just be shady?
He just got the shady vibe to him.
And I was thinking, like, you know what's funny? Like,
what?
Shit. Well, I thought Simon was gonna computer monitor for us. Fuck.
What did we miss?
Hold on. Son of a bitch.
We got the phone.
Keep recording. Yeah, that's right. Keep recording. Let's see. No, I was just saying how like Carl Weathers is like the second like black guy to ever really come out as a main like in Star Wars, other than like Lando Calrissian.
Yeah.
And then I guess Mace Windu too. I kind of forgot about him, but I was gonna be like Lando Calrissian. Now we have fucking Carl Weathers. I don't even know his name, but the Carl Weathers character.
Yeah.
And they're both like 2-timers. You know what I'm saying? Like they both like 2-time. Because Lando, and I'm like, I don't know. It seems a little. They say like George George Lucas is so stupid, dude. Like, honestly, I low-key hate him. Like, he's an asshole, dude. He's a fucking idiot.
Why?
Okay, listen to this. He made Star Wars, okay, right? The original trilogy. Great trilogy. But he ruined it. He ruined it with the prequels. He's a terrible writer. That's why nobody likes the prequels. Even fucking Star Wars, like, the dialogue is okay. It's really, like, the effects and just, like, the overall, like, it's such a big sort of lore that goes into this one movie, or and then.
Well, that's what makes it great.
But here's why George Lucas is a fucking idiot.
You're gonna anger a lot of people.
I don't give a fuck. A lot of people don't like George Lucas. George Lucas is a moron.
For what?
Okay, so there's the National Film Registry. Yes, they every year they induct 25 movies. I think they have to have been out for a certain amount of time, but they induct 25 movies every year that they deem culturally significant, which is what I'd like to be one day.
Right.
And so Star Wars, the first Star Wars, before it was called A New Hope, it was called Star Wars.
Yes.
Was amongst it started the National Film Registry started in 1989. Star Wars was amongst the first 25 movies to be inducted into the film registry, national, deemed culturally significant. You have to submit an original print of the original theatrical cut of whatever movie it is to the registry. No, right. Well, yeah, so that their whole point is to archive it and to preserve it. National, and George Lucas refused to give an original copy of Star Wars, and he tried to give them an altered version with like the 97 version, the special, with the altered special edition and all this stuff, and they said no, you have to give us the original film with the unaltered original 1977 theatrical release, and he refuses. He won't give it to them because he just hates he hates the original, or he just doesn't like the original one.
I mean, that doesn't make him a moron.
That makes him a fucking why?
Who cares?
Come on. He fucked up the original trilogy when he put out the special editions.
I mean,
he fucked them up, and I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because I'm not I've said this before. I'm not a big fan of the 80s. 80s, like there's a big like nostalgia for the 80s that's been going around for a while.
Is it the practical effects?
I love practical effects.
The fact that he took out the practical effects.
Yeah, he took them out. And like a lot of movies that were around in the 80s and early 90s, the ones that hold the test of time are the ones that don't use CGI or that have a good balance of CGI and also practical effects. Practical effects, when done properly, which to George Lucas's credit, he did them flawless. I mean, he changed the whole motherfucking game of what you can do. The movie would have aged amazingly, but he fucked it up, and now it's aging really badly because he tried to update it, and the update actually ruined it, and now makes it look outdated.
Now, I agree with that. Now, I mean, he just has there's a conflict that he's fighting with himself, or I don't know. There's something in his head because when Star Wars first came out, there was no studio that wanted to pick it up.
For sure.
And then finally he gets he gets Fox to pick it up. Fox picks it up, and they're like, we're gonna own all this. Maybe we'll give you a second movie if it does well, and then we could negotiate the contract for the third. So they end up doing that, and
Fox distributed Star Wars?
I believe so, yeah.
I didn't know that.
They, it was Fox 21st Century or 20th Century Fox or something like that.
I didn't know Fox 20th Century was around back then. Anyways, go on.
And so the studio picks it up. He does that. They become successful. Now the third movie comes around, and now he calls the fucking shots where he says he wants to take all of the rights from the merchandise and the movie theaters and shit like that, takes all the ticket sales.
And that's fine. Yeah. I'm fine.
But what I'm trying to say is the originals when it came out, he didn't really have I don't know what his budget was like, but he wanted to do a lot more than what he could, than what the technology allowed at the time.
Right.
So that's why you have you have these big like the practical effects they used were like revolutionary because he was trying to.
And he should have left him alone.
Yeah, and I agree with you, but like I said, he just wanted to show.
Fuck what he wants
still
to show.
like trying to add on to it. I don't know.
And he fucked it up. He's continuously. And he's continually fucking it up.
He's a fucking artist. He wants to try
an artist. He's an asshole.
He's an artist.
He's a fucking idiot.
I mean, most artists, are insane. I mean, why touch something good and go back to? Some people feel like it's never done.
I mean, I guess I suppose like I could see that, but I mean, anyone with eyes can see how bad it's aging, and why wouldn't he say like, man, I should preserve, what I was able to accomplish at that time. I mean,
maybe he's just not attached to it.
You know something?
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, anyways, I saw a YouTube video and they said how he doesn't want to give the original print to the and I just didn't understand why he's so like anti-original theatrical release.
And like I said, maybe he's just not attached to it. He doesn't care for it.
So then fucking let him have it then. Let the fucking people who do care have it.
I mean, maybe it's his own like way of sticking it to whatever establishment he thinks is fucking trying to.
He's fucking George Lucas. He is the establishment.
I mean, no, Disney is. Hail Disney.
Whatever. I mean.
You made me forget what I was we were talking about the Mandalorian. Oh, that's what I wanted to bring up. So remember how like all the memes for the Baby Yoda were coming out?
Yeah.
So when my uncle, I kind of felt bad. Yoda. I kind of felt bad. My uncle, my Nino, never seen it. Right? He'd never seen the show. That's why we ended up watching it on Thanksgiving.
He never seen the Mandalorian.
No, he hadn't seen it, and everybody had watched it except for like my parents and my Nino. So everyone's like, "Oh man, it's really good." And then he's like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's throw this shit on right now. So we're like, all right, fuck it. We threw it on while we were eating. And he was watching the first episode. And right when it got to the end, he already knew what was going to happen. And not based of what not because he saw the character, but because he saw the fucking baby carriage.
So he didn't get that. Called it?
So he didn't get that shock like that.
Did he know it was going to be a Baby Yoda, though?
Yeah, he knew because of the memes.
Oh, okay.
So right when he was like, oh, I fucking like, and then he was like, man, I already know what it is. Like,
so who cares?
No, I know that. So he was just like, oh, I saw it on the meme.
It does kind of ruin the surprise.
Yeah, and then I thought to myself, like, damn, that sucks. He didn't get that.
Yeah, but that's what it's like I saw Baby Yoda before I saw the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And like honestly, like that kind of stuff is sort of inevitable, especially if you're going to be on Facebook or on Instagram or on whatever, Twitter. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I know. I just thought like when I watched it, it was pretty dope to be like, holy shit, and then wanting to wait for the other episode. I mean, he still
because you didn't see it coming. Yeah, that it was going to be a Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, like in Boardwalk right now.
Yeah.
It's getting pretty intense and like. A lot of the characters in there are like,
your voice got really like Boardwalk.
Right Boardwalk Empire is a great show. I've been like, but a lot of characters are real people, like from they're real people that really existed during like Prohibition. A lot of the main gangster bosses, like Al Capone, obviously.
Yeah.
But like Charlie Luciano was real. Meyer Lansky was real.
Nucky Tom.
His name was Nucky Johnson, but he was real. Arnold Rothstein was real.
Yeah.
So I found myself like looking them up, while I'm watching the show. I'm like Googling and like reading about these guys. But then what ended up happening is I'm reading about these guys and like reading like their fate and shit. And then I realized like I'm spoiling the show for myself because the fates they meet in the show or in real life are the fates they're gonna meet in the show.
I forgot who I was talking to. It might have been Sammy, but I don't remember who exactly it was because I was watching it when it was premiering, right?
Yeah.
So I had talked to him and I was like, I know this is real, so I can go. Like, I want to know what's going, especially because I had to wait a whole week, as opposed to where you can just binge it now.
Yeah.
And so I was like so into the story that when that episode ended, I was so tempted to just
look it up,
read the because there's a book out on Nucky Johnson.
Yeah.
And and I was tempted to like just get that book, read it, or just look up the whole fucking like everything that went down. But I restrained myself from doing it because I didn't want to ruin the show for myself.
Yeah, that's. I try not to like ruin the show. I mean, luckily for me, like Boardwalk Empire's been over for a while, so there's not a lot of like Boardwalk Empire memes floating around.
I know.
But like when new shit comes out and like
you have to like watch it right away.
Yeah, there's always like a flood of memes if it's like really popular or really funny, you know.
Yeah.
And Baby Yoda was one of them.
See, it's funny. It's cool when you're in on the joke, but when you haven't seen anything, it kind of fucking sucks. Kind of hate it sometimes.
So, I started playing Red Dead.
Oh, that's right.
And I gotta be honest with you, man. Like,
you don't like it?
I don't know if I like it that much. Like, it suffers from something that I personally don't like. The way I like to play games and the way I like to play the type of video games I like to play. It's too open world. I
think I told you.
I like my games to be a little bit more linear, where there's like there's an A and there's a B, and it could be kind of open world. Like that's why I like Spider-Man, because Spider-Man was like a contained map. You're in the 5 boroughs. That's it. Same with like Shadow of Mordor is like sort of a contained map, and I really love those games. But
Red
like
Dead is kind of it's just really huge, but it's a
humongous map, dude.
Yeah.
And like the thing about it is that like I really still don't even know what the main storyline is, because it's like right now I'm in chapter 2.
Okay.
So I'm over at some overlook, and I keep going into like town, and like I'm doing favors for people at the camp.
You
and
still haven't got into the meat of the story yet.
See, like, and then what? I mean, well, what the fuck? I mean, why can't it just be at the beginning? The meat of the story starts. I told Dave this. I was talking to Dave, and I was like, yeah, you know, it's too open ended for me. Like I don't know what's important and what isn't. Like I'm like
you're overthinking it, bro.
I'm not overthinking it. I'm fucking playing the game, and like I do these things, and I'm like, well, what was the point of that? Just to get a little bit of money? Like
some of them pay off later, so there's main mission stories, and then there's some stories from the campsites that are not important that you could do, but like for somebody who doesn't know, like yourself, or if you're not looking at videos, because the only reason why I knew I stumbled upon a YouTube video that kind of told me, oh, there's going to be missions that pop up, and they're not going to be important missions or missions that have to be done right away.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, if you get further enough in the main storyline, those missions will end up disappearing. And if they disappear, you may lose out on a piece of story that may connect like further down the line.
That's what I'm saying. Here's the thing about it. It's like almost a life stimulation, you know, where like
super. It's like damn near close to.
And the thing about it is, it's tremendously time consuming.
Oh.
And I'm not really trying to give that much of my time to a fucking video game. I do like to play video games. It is fun. The best part right now is in the beginning when you rob the train. That was probably the best.
But see, I didn't.
But it's like when you like, you know, you got to ride your horse everywhere. You got to motherfucking ride your horse.
Well, that's until you unlock the fast travel. Once you unlock the fast travel, like I told you, you're not even close to
and that kind of pisses me off. Like fucking, I'm talking to Dave, and I say, yeah, you know, I'm kind of like here, and he's like, well, how far are you? And I'm like, well, I'm right here. He goes, yeah. He goes, you got to play it more, and then it's gonna get like crazier as you play more. And I'm like, well, what are they waiting for? And he's like, you got to put in like 8 hours before it starts getting any good.
See,
I go 8 hours.
You know what it is? Well, I mean, I kind of knew this was probably gonna happen to you. That's why I kept saying, get the online fucking.
That's why I want to play online
PSN.
already, because I'm like, I'd rather just kind of play online.
That's why I was trying to tell you when you were buying the game. I was like, get PSN first, then buy Red Dead when you're ready, because I knew the story, especially what you were telling me from God of War when you were playing that, and how you were like, oh, it's you know, I like how it seems like it's open world, but it's not really, and you just get to where you need to go.
Yeah.
So that's why I told you, get the fucking internet, get your PSN, and then hop on Red Dead, and we can fucking play online. Because honestly, at this point, you didn't play it at the same time everybody else was. So everybody else would have been like, you would have been more into it, like when me and Mike were playing, and Sammy, my brother, we were all like, oh yeah, we're fucking into it. And we're talking to each other about this. Oh, I did this. Oh, I did that. Oh, what did you do here? Because there are gonna be.
Now it's like I'm the only one in the world like playing Red Dead.
Yeah, the story mode. Yeah, everyone's still playing. Everyone's playing online.
Is the online any good?
The online is fucking fun, dude. Especially when you have everybody.
It's too much like GTA. It's pretty much GTA.
It's GTA with cowboys.
It's just cowboys.
Yeah,
and that's I don't know. I kind of feel like. Someone's knocking, dude.
Give me a second. What is it? What do you want? We're doing the podcast. What do you want? What?
He goes, huh?
Go pay the Switch.
Yeah.
Close the door.
Oh my goodness. Speaking of the Switch, I was watching this video, and it's this guy named Blame It on Jorge. He's a channel. I think I've told you about him before. He does all kinds of different like media type videos about like lost media, and he does like about stuff about movies and like the top 10 scariest movies, too scary for the mainstream.
Yeah.
And he did this one. It was like top 10 like weirdest cartoons, right? Mm-hmm. And there's a cartoon that came out in the 30s. It was called Swing You Sinners. Swing You Sinners.
Swing You Sinners?
Yeah, Swing You Sinner or Swing You Sinners. I'm not sure if it's plural.
Uh-huh.
And it's a cartoon dog it's black and white. And the dog's black. And he does something where he like steals a chicken and whatever and like this and that. And then he ends up getting like trapped in like a cemetery. And then like all these like weird ghosts and like ghouls and shit start.
Oh, did you show me this video before?
I don't think so.
And
then like all this crazy shit happens, all this like kind of surreal, like abstract, like all these ghosts start coming out and ghouls and like all these things start like haunting him, and he eventually like gets he gets like bombarded by all these like spirits, and then eventually like he goes to hell, I think, and like gets like just gets cast off to hell, and that's a cartoon.
Yeah,
like
and,
a fucking
and
like
it ends like that.
That's how it ends. It's an old-timey cartoon. Old-time Muhammad thing. The guitar company.
Just a pocket full of sunshine.
And so it's really like a famous cartoon now because it's so... Watching it now, it's like, wow, this is really out there for a children's cartoon, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, the studio that made that cartoon was... I think it was called Fleischer Studios. It was made by a guy named Max Fleischer, who was like a pioneering animator even before Walt Disney. Like he was like he pioneered a lot of techniques in animating. And he had a big he was a big influence on the guys who made Cuphead. And a lot of the artwork from Cuphead they get from this guy who made this cartoon called Swing You Sinner.
Yeah.
And so it's supposed to be like did you finish Cuphead?
No, I've never finished it. But the main story is the two cubs trying to save their souls from the devil because they gambled and lost their souls. And the devil said, okay, you guys can keep your souls if you guys collect all these souls that I need.
Right. No, right. I know the story. Yeah. Right. So and they said that actually the whole game of Cuphead is very influenced by the guys who made Swing You Sinner. And like because they made a lot of like kind of like weird like abstract like movie. But back then, in the late 20s, early 30s. And so at the end of Cuphead, the final boss is you fight the devil, right? He's the final boss. And when you beat the final boss, the achievement you get is called Swing You Sinners.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is the cartoon.
Well, it looks like I don't need to beat it anymore.
Wow, it's still, I don't know.
Just beat it.
Swing You Sinners.
Damn, what the hell were we talking about?
I don't know. Oh, Ethan came in and
it just like threw me off.
It's funny too, cause like, but didn't we hear a knock?
Yeah, we did, and we
like
kept
about
ignoring
20 minutes ago,
yeah.
And then like we kind of ignored it. But then I heard a knock again, and I looked, and I could see him in the little hole. Like I could see him. Like, I'm like, shit. I'm like, I think your homie's there.
Why didn't you just say like, oh, I think Ethan's knocking?
Well, wasn't sure if it was him, but I was pretty sure. I was hoping it wasn't him because I knew you were gonna get all mad at him. Yeah, but I don't know what the fuck we were talking about. We were talking about Red Dead.
Yeah.
And I want to go home. I mean, it's fun. I like shooting. I like taking care of my horse. I bought a new horse. I bought like a horse from the stable, and then I just started like I've just been starting to like level them up.
Yeah.
I feed them all the time. Always brushing them.
Treat them better than yourself.
Yeah, I do really like. Oh, you know what was crazy? Was one of the missions on Red Dead was where you go to a bar and you just get drunk with the homie.
Oh yeah.
That was the weirdest thing. I was like, this is weird. I'm like, cause like
they're trying to develop the characters and build a relationship between you and
these characters. For sure.
Yeah, so that's why they do these obscure.
Now don't tell me, but I get the feeling that Dutch is gonna end up being like the bad guy. You're gonna have to go heads with him. Don't tell me.
Well, you'll find out. It's.
But
why the fuck do you ask these questions? You always do that, and then you're like, "Don't tell me,"
because I have speculations,
and you get mad. You when I'm like, "Oh,
I know," because I want to talk about it, but I'm always behind. I was still playing the Super Nintendo when fucking the 64 was still going out of fucking style already. But
nothing wrong with that.
But so yeah, it's fun. It's fun, and there's a lot of cool. Like I love shooting. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of a slow burn right now.
Yeah, it'll start to pick up a little bit. I remember when I was playing it too, like especially that snow level. Fuck, hate
in
that
the beginning when you're caught in the blizzard.
Yeah, I hate that.
That was kind of cool when you go to the cabin.
Yeah, it was cool.
And then you like have a shootout with all those.
Yeah,
fools.
but then it kind of gets stale after a while, especially.
But I mean, the blizzard chapter didn't last that long.
No, but I don't know. To me, it felt like it did. And it was weird because it's almost like the perfect intro to a game. I feel
the
even
blizzard.
Even though I thought it was really boring. Well, not really boring, but it just started getting annoying because of the way you have to move, and like they made it like realistic, where like how like the way you move in the snow, even your horse, and like it takes forever to get somewhere.
Yeah,
and then so that was the annoying part. So that's why I say. But the reason why I say it's perfect intro is because it kind of it introduces you to the game, shows you how like there's these realistic physics. And then on top of that, they leave you like where like you can't really see any, like it's all just white. Mm-hmm. There's no color, no anything. And then once you get out of the snow, and then you start getting to the greenage, like all the foresty green, and you see the water in the river. Then then you're just you're just amazed by how fucking beautiful the game looks.
Damn, that does sound pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's cool. I'll keep playing it. But I can kind of already tell that like. This game is probably going to be better like online. Like I mean, it's a good storyline, right?
No, it's a great storyline.
Oh yeah.
It's just there's so much they try to put into the story. Like they really try to flesh out every character. There's background stories to characters that are not even involved in the main storyline.
Yeah, I don't need all that.
Yeah,
dude.
No, you don't. But if you want, you could. Yeah. If you wanted to find out,
they always like when developers make video games like that are like that in depth. What they're trying to really do is create replay value. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's I don't like to replay games.
No.
I like to play the game, get to the end of the story, and then that's it. That's all I need.
Well, I mean, you don't. Other people do, though. A lot of people do, actually.
Yeah, but what the fuck? Go to work. Get a fucking job. Like, seriously. Like, some games...
Some people do use it as a job. They do it for YouTube.
I guess. I mean, yeah. But, I mean, how many people are making money off that, really?
A lot.
Realistically.
There's a few. There's a good handful of people there.
A handful of people. Billions of people on the planet. Yeah. And you said there's a handful.
I mean, I'm just saying it's not an impossibility.
Yeah, I know. But, I mean, like, not, I don't know. Everybody can make money off playing video games.
No, but,
I mean, I don't know. We just saw fucking, watching that damn video.
Yeah, my brother's girl.
Yeah, that chick eating the cucumber. Like, that was the weirdest thing
The smoke screen she threw at us was pretty fucking funny.
But you know what? She was right. She was like, look at how many subscribers.
Well, this is what happened. Explain what happened. So we're watching. I walk in and I tell you, look at this shit. She's watching this video of this girl just eating cucumbers and oysters.
She's eating cucumbers and oysters. But here's the weird thing about it is that there's a lot of emphasis on the sound of her chewing, the crunch of the cucumber.
The video is it's like those ASMR videos where it's like a
what's that
audio.
ASMR?
Audio.
Okay, 360 audio.
I follow. Yeah. So that's what they're kind of using to kind of like amplify the sound, and then it makes it 360. So when you have headphones on, it kind of sounds like they're going around your head.
Yeah.
There's actually some cool ones where like they do like there's this like you're a spy and you're in Russia and like you got caught, and then there's like this guy who's like torturing you and he's using like different shit, and he's like whispering, he's like, I know you know, or tell me the secrets, or who you work for. Yeah, dude, it's pretty fucking cool. Then there's another one where they do like barber shop, and they're cutting your hair, and it actually feels like the fucking barber's like going up, like tapering you up and shit, like just real quick.
That's why though. What's the point of that?
Because okay, so if they develop that, that means you can use that in VR. So you can use those. So now not only will you have the visual of having first person in
What's
a
the
VR
point
headset,
of VR though?
To do fucking the Matrix, bro. Control.
I mean, why create virtual reality if our reality is already virtual reality? You know, like they already say that what we perceive as reality is a simulation. So why create a simulation within a simulation? Within a simulation. Within a simulation.
Because people want to be in another simulation. No one's ever happy. Are you always satisfied?
Never.
Yeah.
Most of the time I'm unsatisfied.
Well, yeah. I mean, you just called fucking George Lucas a moron, and
George Lucas is a fucking
and
idiot.
you hate Red Dead because it fucking has so many storylines. Just
yeah,
give me one.
Too good of a game. It's too immersive, dude. It's too immersive. People need to like. The world is such a beautiful place.
Then there you go. Create your own reality.
I don't need to create my own reality. Reality is already around me.
All right, slow down. Take your pills.
I just like. I don't know. I just hate that how computers just do everything for us now.
Well,
the level of skill people need to have now is really almost down to zero.
Well, they start eating cucumbers and fucking
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like, back in the day, people had like purpose in like their communities. Like there was the blacksmith, and there was the locksmith, and there was fucking the librarian, and there was the fucking baker, and everyone had like a particular skill.
So what would your
that doesn't matter because it's not my point. My point is that everyone had like a skill. Like, man, that guy fucking he's a baker and this and that, and now everything is being automated. And do you hear about this guy Andrew Yang?
What about him?
He's a guy. He's running for president. He's like an entrepreneur and like.
Is it Yang or Wang?
It's Yang Gang. They say. And his platform.
Yang Gang.
Yang Gang. Yeah, that's what they say. Hashtag Yang Gang.
Okay.
And which I think is kind of stupid, but I think that is kind of him trying to like.
He's trying to be hip.
Get hip with the young folk. But listen to this. His platform is that he's worried about future job markets because of automation and because so many things are going to be based on computer automation. And eventually the only jobs will be like computer maintenance and TI and maintaining these.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right. So he's still the job market is going to shrink. There's not going to be that many jobs anymore. That's the point. Yeah, there's still going to be jobs to maintain the computers, but there's only going to be so many motherfucking positions. Especially if that's the only fucking job. So his idea.
It's also due to like overpopulation as well.
Well, yes, as well. That's why I get angry when people have kids. Seriously, dude. I heard someone the other day. They told me they had 7 siblings. And they're like, their parents are relatively young, like in their early 40s or something. Like, I got mad at them, dude.
It's not their fault.
Not there. I said, who's your fucking parents? So I could talk some sense into them. How dare they have 7 kids? What the hell's wrong with them? 7 fucking kids? That means that they're leaving 7 people behind to suffer the fucking fate of this world in about 50 years.
Yeah,
that's sadistic.
Yeah, it takes a toll on the planet.
It takes a toll, dude. Limited resources, and everyone's fucking like it ain't no big deal.
That's why I only want to have Ethan. I'm good. That's all we
need. Ethan, that was already too much.
Yeah,
you're right. That guy, I love Ethan. He's here. I love him. Wouldn't want him going anywhere.
Your niece?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. But I mean, now my niece has to grow up in the shitty world that we fucking created. Thanks, Mom and Dad and everyone, all the boomers out there. But what were we saying? I said something before that. Because of that.
Because of the Yang
Gang. So this guy running for president.
Yeah.
His platform is that every American citizen, you're American citizen, adult, so over 18, every single one of them, American adult legal citizen, gets $1,000 every month for living.
Wow.
Doesn't matter if you're employed, unemployed, everyone gets it standard for cost of living.
And then that's when the simulation comes in, and then we have Ready Player One in real life.
I saw that movie, but I was just whatever. I didn't really get into it. But that's his platform. Yeah. That's the only way we can deal with automation. The coming doom that is automation.
Yeah, but when are we gonna know? It's ready. Like once all the jobs are gone.
I don't know. I mean,
all the jobs are gonna be gone.
No, there's gonna be jobs. There's gonna be less of them, and like you said, there's fucking overpopulation. There's gonna be half as many jobs and twice as many people.
There's already a lot of homeless.
Not a homeless. My sister posted something today about how like in San Francisco there's like 5 empty houses for every like one homeless person on the street or something. I don't really know how economics work, but this Yang Gang, Orlando seems to be pushing it a lot. Every time he comes over to my house, like we'll hang out, we'll smoke some weed or whatever. Yeah. He always brings them up. So what you feel about Yang Gang, Andrew Yang, dude? And like, the thing about Orlando is he's always believed in like these like.
I thought he was a Bernie Sanders.
He was, but apparently he's changing his tune to Yang Gang.
Everyone could change. Yang Gang.
Yang Gang, dude.
So fucking funny.
I mean, where do you stand politically?
I don't want to say.
Why? Because you're a Trump supporter?
No, fuck no.
I mean, like, it's weird because like I can't be a Trump supporter. I mean.
I'm not a Trump supporter because
but like at the same time,
so
like
fucking crazy, dude. I feel like he's out of his like.
And like the thing, and you know what's crazy is like not only is he crazy, but like it's crazy that people like the way they follow him.
Yeah, dude. It's
like
fucking insane.
And like I don't enjoy, you have the far left and you have the far right, because they're both like, you can't lean one way or the other. You have to just sort of take each issue and create your own opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not one or the other. You
know what Trump kind of reminds me of like a car salesman. He kind of just talks really fast.
He does
really
all
these
fast.
hands movements and like tries to like distract you from what's actually fucking going on.
Yeah.
And he's just talking a lot.
Everyone gets all disoriented.
Yeah. And then he says like some radical shit like build the wall or and it gets people chanting these crazy shit.
Stern had Hillary Clinton on this week.
I saw that.
Yeah, I haven't seen the whole thing. I saw a little clip of it, and like, I mean, like it's cool, like I guess, like, but like honestly, Howard Stern tried to get her to come on when she was running, and he says that like he always says, he goes, if I would have had her in here while she was running, I think she probably would have. I mean, it's hard to say if she would have actually won. Because she was, like Donald Trump, she was also a very divisive candidate. And he says, because I would have been able to talk to her and, like, I wouldn't have asked her about policies. I would have just humanized her. I would have just, like.
It's funny that you say that because Joe Rogan just recently, I think like a month or two ago, or I don't know how long ago exactly, but I know it was within a month or two. He interviewed Bernie Sanders on his podcast, and they talked about that, how like the debates they're not set up for any of the candidates to really like get their where they stand on like on policies and stuff, and how to explain why they should do this and this and that. They're really set up for television and entertainment, where it's like you got 40 seconds to answer this fucking complicated ass fucking question. And that's why Donald Trump did so well, because he is an entertainer. Yeah, and he has 20 minutes 100%. To just say fucking
popularity contest.
Exactly. So that's what Joe Rogan said.
And it's funny though, like, and it's funny you say that, because like I remember like during the whole Trump run, like, yeah, he was such a douchebag, like humongous douchebag, but I was like, who Trump's on? Like, who, because it is entertaining, like
say what kind of crazy shit.
It's like, because even though like, yeah, I obviously can't be a Trump supporter because he's a fucking racist.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed why I was like, ooh, everything says,
everybody
like,
loves drama, man.
Shit.
Everyone loves
like,
drama.
yeah, did he just fucking say that?
Yeah,
like,
dude, it was like that. It was like, it's still to this day. It's almost like, oh fuck, what is he gonna say next? Somebody says something to Trump. Oh, what he's gonna say? Like just recently, they had that big all like these leaders around the world were like meeting, and I forgot, it's somewhere in Europe, right? In London, I think, UK, and they didn't realize they were being recorded, and they were talking about Trump behind his back.
Who
and, like
was
laughing? It was like the president of France.
Yeah, right.
And like and then like the British prime minister and the president of Canada. Like they were all grouped up. And
they're like, can you believe this asshole?
Yeah, they're pretty much like saying they didn't realize they were being recorded. They were being recorded from afar, but they could still hear the audio. You can actually look up.
So what do they say?
I forgot, but they were just saying like stuff like, "Oh, can you believe he said this?" or like, "Look at the way he stands." And they're like laughing, and you can see them laughing, like pretty much making fun of him.
Yeah.
And then now that kind of, when I saw this, I was like, "Holy shit, what is Trump gonna say now?" Because you don't know.
Yeah.
What the fuck is
well,
running
the thing
through
is,
his
he
head?
has like a tremendous.
It's almost like let's fucking go to war with Canada now,
Yeah, the thing is he has like a tremendous ego. You know what I'm saying? And he's kind of like this old school thinking of like America, like fuck yeah, like America.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie though, when I saw this video, I kind of got a little like, what the fuck? Only we can make fun of our president.
Yeah,
like fuck you guys.
It's weird because like, like. I guess, I could say I'm proud to be from the United States.
I am sure.
I don't feel like ashamed to be from the United States, but it's an odd.
You just have to be
an odd country because it's so big.
You just have to be aware of the shit that we've done and just realize like, hey,
I mean, we didn't do anything.
No, yeah, but our country, the shit that our country's
came
done
and fucking took out our people, took out Native Americans, took out Native indigenous people from Mexico and all over the fucking planet.
And at the same time, we're just trying to heal it and grow and just our country, it's not what it was.
For sure.
And it's still continuing to change. And we just got to get this fucking asshole out of office, and then we can fucking go back to being, growing as a country.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's just like the country's like so divided and, like I said, I was on Twitter and like this clip of Hillary Clinton on the Stern Show, right? Like the clip was cool, but really I was interested in reading the comments because Stern always gets ripped apart for being too liberal, and then people rip him apart for being too conservative. You know what I'm saying? Like
you're just no winning.
And that's because Stern doesn't lean left or right. He sort of has his views, and
which is the way to do it.
Yeah, and this is what he says. He goes, "You want to know what I am?" He goes, "On some issues I'm liberal, and on some issues I'm conservative. It all depends what it is,
And that's fine. I mean, you don't have to.
It's like Ruben said. Ruben said this once. He goes, from a business standpoint, I would vote Republican because money-wise, Republicans are actually really smart.
Yeah.
But from like a social standpoint, issues, most people would lean Democrat, especially because like we're all Hispanic, we all have family members. If our parents aren't from Mexico, or our grandparents are from, you know what I'm saying? Like we're not that far removed from that.
I mean, it's not just that, but Democrat seats just seem to have like the more it just seems that there's just more sensitivity and common sense and
when like, it comes to social issues.
Exactly. Like it seems like there's an understanding of what like people need and how to care for somebody.
For sure.
But when it comes to money,
the Republican Party somehow got super religious, like, you know what I'm saying? And now it's like anti-abortion and anti-gay marriage and like all this, like, it's just too old school. But I mean, like, that's why people like Trump, because Trump has that like old school sort of like, America, we're the best, fuck yeah, no one can fuck with us. You know what I'm saying?
America.
And there's people who buy into that shit, and I don't understand why.
Well, I mean, like I said, I'm proud to be to live in the United States.
Sure, and like
I mean, compared to fucking my cousins live in Mexico, fuck that.
Yeah, I mean, like, and it, like diversity and being able to live amongst anyone you want, really, and being able to have an opportunity to move up in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and we don't have to worry about polar bears.
No polar bears
because in Russia right now, because of global warming, they're getting attacked. Well, not attacked, but like overrun. This village is getting overrun by polar bears. Like they're coming inland. So like they announced like a state of emergency, and they have to like gate up like kindergarten fucking schools.
Damn.
Yeah, because like the bears are fucking getting really brave and like walking in.
Shit, they're hungry, bro.
Yeah.
That's scary, man. Polar bears are vicious, they say. Like monsters.
Yeah, dude. There's like a video of a polar bear walking into like a storage room and shit. It's fucking insane. But anyway, I just want to throw that in.
Yeah, I don't think polar bears are indigenous to the United States. Well, actually, they're up in Alaska, aren't they?
Are they? No.
I don't fucking know. I've never been to Alaska.
Me either.
Alaska.
There's definitely bears up there.
Yeah, but back to, like, I feel like the United States, it's so big and there's so many of us here, and it's like, it's, you go to other states and it's like other countries almost. It's like a totally different world.
Yeah.
Laws are different. It's a whole thing. I don't like it.
You don't like it?
I'm not a fan.
You just gotta adapt, baby. You just gotta adapt.
But anyways, we're already up on an hour.
All right. You wanna call? Oh, let's end. I kind of like this story. Let's end with this story. We'll end it with how Tom Holland saved Spider-Man.
Okay.
So you remember Sony and Disney, like they had a falling out after
right, because they couldn't come to like a deal or something.
Yeah, they couldn't come to a deal, and they wanted to use Venom. And
well, didn't
Spider-Man.
Disney wanted like 50% of like the box office returns or something on Spider-Man.
It was something crazy where like the contract was up.
What was the original contract? When they originally got Spider-Man to come out in Civil War, and that was like the first time Spider-Man comes out in the MCU.
Original. No.
Well, wasn't it like Sony got like 100% of like the box office returns, but then like but doesn't like.
I think it was actually something like that.
And then like the MCU got like 3% of like all like merchandising or something.
Yeah. Actually, right here. Okay, so Disney wanted 50-50, so that was
when they were trying to like renew. Yeah. That was when the contract was up, and they pretty much tried to like take over Spider-Man and be like, look, just give it up.
Yeah. So so I guess the original was like Sony gets like 100% of the like box office,
right?
Shit, and then Disney got some kind of percentage of the merchandise, and then Disney kind of got brave and was like, you know what? We don't like this fucking deal anymore.
Yeah, like we're fucking Disney motherfuckers.
Yeah,
right?
So
you guys used to make VCRs.
Yeah.
Fucking Sony.
Nintendo. That's why Nintendo didn't want to make a game with you.
Stupid Nintendo.
So Nintendo's fine. Sega's the one who really fucked up.
Sega fucked up.
Anyway, so then they tried to do the 50-50, and Sony just pretty much said, "Fuck that, we're pulling out."
Right.
So Tom Holland. So back in October, he was at D23, and he went to whenever D23 was, he was there, and he wanted to speak to Bob Iger, right? So he asked for his email, and
Tom Holland got to speak directly to Bob Iger.
Well, he wanted to. He didn't get to. He just asked for his email, and he wanted to contact him. So because he had heard, Spider-Man had got pulled out from Disney, Ross, so he kind of wanted to just email him. He didn't ask for his number or talk to him. He was just like, can I email him?
Okay, hold on. It said I ran out of space.
Ah, shit.
Let me see. Okay, wow. I'm filming again.
We good?
You were saying? I'll let you know if I stop recording again.
Okay. So threw me off. So he wanted to speak to Bob. He got his email, and so he emailed him. So a couple weeks later, he was at a bar with his cousins or family, friends, whatever, and he was drunk, and he got a random call with no contact information, and he figured, oh shit, this might be Bob Iger. Let me Okay. So he answers the phone call, and Iger apparently liked the email that he sent him, and he talked to him about it. And apparently, Tom Holland admitted that he was drunk, crying, telling Iger, "Please don't do this. Let's work out a deal. I really love working with you. All these years. I'm really grateful for what you guys have done for me." And he goes, "Don't pull Spider-Man out. Work out a deal, please." And he cried, and literally cried tears, drunken tears.
Little bitch.
Yeah. So Bob Iger pretty much liked the enthusiasm and like the drive.
You got gumption, kid.
Yeah,
you're gonna go far.
So he went back to Sony, and they worked out a deal, and that's how.
Well, what was it? So what was the deal they worked out?
The deal that they worked
60-40.
Let's see.
70-30.
So Disney and Marvel will co-finance 25% of Spider-Man film to follow the ongoing exploits of the MCU's version of the character, as he has appeared in 2017. So, I guess they're gonna put 25% of the Spider-Man film to follow along. Huh? That's it. There has to be more.
Well, wait a minute. What happened to the other one?
Oh, it's probably still there.
Okay, well, I'm out of space. There's nothing. I can't film anymore.
Okay.
Well, anyway, you can't see me anymore. But Tom Holland saves the MCU and Sony simultaneously. A true modern-day hero.
Yay, Tom Holland. Oh, they did do a 50-50 split. All right, nice.
Damn, 50 stupid Sony. They should have held out.
When Sony bought... Oh, no, they didn't.
Well, anyway, I guess that wraps it up for this episode of the Rev and Filo Show.
Yeah, thank you guys. And
keep subscribing if you guys like what we do.
Like our videos.
Let us know if you want us to make videos of us eating cucumbers.
Oh, and oysters.
And oysters. Sounds oddly suggestive. And I guess we'll see you next time.
All right, have a good day, guys. Later.